Hey guys, tonight we begin with the sad, strange, and sometimes downright dangerous life of a man whose job was to make everyone else laugh. The medieval court jester. The floppy hat, the bells, the jokes. It all sounds like fun and games until you realize you were one wrong joke away from the dungeon. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Because in the medieval world, a man without a job, land, or purpose was just asking to be arrested for existing. So, yes, in theory you're an entertainer, but in reality, you're a high-pressure, low-pay, full-time joke machine kept on retainer by people who can have you whipped for bad timing. And that's just how the audition worked. You may not be on stage with a spotlight, but make no mistake. In the medieval court, you were the costume, you are the costume. And trust me, the show never ends. Being a jester sounds fun until you realize you're required to be funny constantly. You don't get to be off. You don't get quiet days. You don't get to have moods. Your entire identity is expected to be one endless laugh track no matter what else is going on in the world or your own life. Your job description is to be hilarious on demand. Even if the Duke just buried his third wife, even if the kingdom is at war, you're the fool who crossed a line. And here's the real kicker. That line moves. On Monday, the Queen laughs when you joke about her cousin's gambling habits. On Tuesday, he's in the room and now it's treason. On Wednesday, she laughs again, but too hard, and the king looks displeased. On Thursday, you're being escorted out by guards for disturbing the peace of courtly decorum. There's no safe zone. Not really. Jokes about politics, risky religion, or dignity? Dangerous. Your shoes, curled toe slippers, also with bells. Perfect for slipping on spilled mead or tripping over your own relevance. They make you look like a court-approved goblin, which frankly is the point. Even your belt is a joke. Often oversized or knotted in ways that prevent practicality. Need to carry a knife or pouch? Forget it. That's not what you're here for. You're here to jiggle, dance, and fall on your face in a glorified mascot uniform. And while nobles dismiss you as harmless, it's because in their minds you're too lowly to matter. You're harmless, a fool. But that doesn't stop you from knowing everything. And sometimes that knowledge keeps you alive or gets you killed. The irony is cruel. You live among nobility. You know their secrets. You share their meals. But socially, you're stranded. The nobles won't befriend you. The servants won't trust you. You're too high for one world, too low for the other. Your presence is tolerated, but not respected. You're allowed to make clever observations, then immediately juggle something to remind everyone you're not that clever. It's a balancing act on the edge of a sword. And here's the real tragedy. Many jesters were incredibly skilled. Musicians, acrobats, poets, political thinkers, all hiding behind a mask of idiocy because brilliance in a fool's mouth is only tolerated if it comes with a pratfall and a jingle. You know what's worse? They laugh hardest when you mess up. Miss a joke, trip mid-dance, drop a lute, that's when they roar. In the medieval court, silence is dangerous. Silence means tension. Silence means attention shifts. And you do not want the spotlight to land on someone more important than you and find you unfunny in the process. So yes, you're at every feast, but you're not celebrated. You're consumed like the bread and wine, swallowed and forgotten by the time the goblets are cleared. And when everyone goes to bed full and satisfied, you go back to your closet-sized room with bruised ribs and a sore smile. In a world full of swords and secrets, the most dangerous blade isn't forged from steel. It's tucked behind a fool's grin. In the medieval court, your job is to keep everyone else laughing. Even when you're falling apart inside. Your dog died. Doesn't matter. The queen still expects you to make a joke about her cousin's wig. You've got a fever. Too bad. The duke had a bad hunting day. And he needs a laugh before he throws his plate. Your heart's broken. Keep dancing, fool. This is your life. And if the monarch furrows his brow or frowns into his goblet, because if the monarch isn't smiling, clearly the fool isn't doing his job. It doesn't matter that you were up late performing at a feast, or that your voice is hoarse from singing, or that you told 12 jokes this morning that got genuine chuckles from 3 knights and a cook. If the king wakes up irritable, the court looks at you like you personally ruined breakfast. You're not just the jester. You're the court's emotional insurance policy. You're not a respected elder. You're not master whatever your name was. You're still the fool, just slower, sadder, and with fewer teeth. And the worst part, even if you're brilliant, no one will ever see past the hat. You might write poetry. You might speak 4 languages. You might secretly know more about statecraft than the royal council. But when you speak, everyone hears bells and expects pratfalls. You could warn of war and be ignored, but if you slip on a turnip, they'll laugh for hours. They will hate you openly, but all will watch your every word, because one misstep, one joke too sharp, one truth too close, and the same crown that once chuckled at your cleverness may have your head rolling across the tiles by morning. In a world where saying the wrong thing could get anyone imprisoned, the jester was the court's built-in truth serum, but with no protection. You are the moral mirror, the court's conscience and bells. You're allowed to point at the naked emperor, so long as you do it while falling down the stairs. You lived for their laughter. You measured your worth in their joy. But laughter is fleeting. It echoes once and fades. And when you're gone, the halls grow quiet until the next fool arrives, juggling for applause. So yes, your life brought others cheer. You made kings forget their worries and lords drop their pride. But when your candle finally burns out, there's no crowd, no fanfare, just silence. And maybe, just maybe, the soft jingle of bells remembered by no one.